way more books than I can possibly imagine reading, but every book that I actually want to read. So, and I think it'll be fun. I think it's YA, I believe. I don't even know if that's true. I might be making that part up. For young mages, mogs. But I could just be living under a rock like I tend to do. But then no. Hard no. We have 4 friends who meet at Hawthorne College, and actually, no, are there 4 of them? Unclear. That have back to school vibes. So this one says, Hi everybody, it's Audrey, and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. Today I'm going to talk about a whole mess of books that have some setting, connection, back to school setting vibe. So all the things having to do with school, because fall to me is always like the start of a new year, like January, whatever. I always sort of hinged my year on the back to school vibes. It's my favorite time of year. Give me changing seasons, give me changing leaves, give me crisp, give me sweaters, all the things. And there are so many books that are coming out, that I bought recently, that have some kind of a school vibe to it, which you guys know is one of my most favorite tropes ever. So I have put together a whole mess of books that I would like to read over the course of the fall. So this is just me. Again, I'm not a TBR person. I don't plan out my reading, but I am gravitating towards them. Partially, I think, after I read Kill All Your Darlings, which was set in a school. And like I said, there's so many books that are coming out, have come out, that have school settings in it. So I threw a whole bunch together. Some I have talked about in the past. Most I have not. I'm looking at the pile. It's kind of big. And I just am going to share them all with you today. The first book is one I mentioned in my book haul video that I just put up, and it is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This just came out in August. This was a book that I somehow managed to embarrassingly miss on my most anticipated August release books, and this is everything I ever wanted in a book, so I don't know how I missed it. It is 6 friends, it's a college reunion, it is a murder in the past, it is a mystery in the present. They are going back for a reunion, and whatever they did back then is coming back to haunt them now. So this sounds like dark and twisted female friendships. Again, you've got the college setting in the past, they're going back to the school. It's like Mean Girls vibes. I feel like maybe it's kind of like Heather's vibes, which is one of my most favorite movies ever. So the girls went to Duquesne University, but not all of them graduated. So Heather is the girl who was murdered. And when the 6 friends are reunited, they will be forced to confront what happened that night. So this book is set in 2 timelines, love, and it says a dark campus setting and an even darker look at friendship, love, obsession, and ambition. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, it's the end of August, and I might actually pick this one up now because I'm not excited to read it, but if I don't, I will be picking it up in September. And when I posted about this in my book haul, so many of you guys were like, you're gonna love it. So I feel like this just basically has my name written across the front of it. So the next book I have is Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey, and she wrote The Echo Wife, which came out this year. And I actually started to read this a couple years ago, but just wasn't in the mood for it. And it's because there is like some magic wizardry to it, but at the same time, it is likened to The Secret History. So ding, ding, ding. I just need to be in the right mood for it. And I kind of feel like this time of year is it. So this one is the twists and turns of a complicated woman's investigation at a hidden school of witchcraft and wizardry. So you kind of have, I feel like, the quote-unquote real world, but then you have a magical, fantastical element to it, and you have a police investigation. And in this one it says, Ivy has an almost sustainable career as a private investigator, an empty apartment in the rapidly gentrifying Bay Area, and a slight drinking problem. She doesn't in any way wish she was like Tabitha, her estranged, magically gifted twin sister. So there is a gruesome murder at the Osthorne Academy, which is where her sister Tabitha is, and Ivy is kind of called in to help solve it and investigate. And it says everything she's ever believed will be called into question. There's enough suspects to keep her busy, but the investigation into the hidden magical world will increasingly center the suspicions Ivy is buried about her own past and present life. So it's a story of identity, entanglement, set against the backdrop of a magical academy. It's got this super cool inside cover. So all that to say, I'm still super intrigued by it, and I'm gonna give it a go. Another book, which is actually also the first in a series. So I am simultaneously reading books set in schools and also trying to chip away at some series. So this could actually do some double duty if I go into it. And it's The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. So this is book number 1. I don't have book number 2, which I want to say came out this year, but I'm trying to have moderate self-control and not buy an entire series of books where I haven't read any of them yet. But this one is likened to Magpie Murders, which you guys know I love, and The Lake House, which I haven't read. But it says Haunting Modern Gothic Mystery. So in this one, we have Claire Cassidy. She's a high school English teacher specializing in the Gothic writer R.M. Holland. And every year she teaches a course on him. But when her colleague and close friend is found dead with a line from Holland's most famous story, The Stranger Left by the Body, Claire is horrified to see her own life collide with the storylines of her favorite literature. And then to make matters worse / creepier, Claire turns to her most trusted friend, which is her diary, and she is writing in her diary about what's going on. And then it says, in one day, she notices something odd. Writing that isn't hers left on the page of an old diary. Hello, Claire. You don't know me. Claire becomes more certain than ever the stranger has come to terrifying life, but can the ending be rewritten in time? So I've heard really great things about this book, and I'm excited for it. It sounds like such a good, like I said, Gothic, which is how it's pitched here. And again, you've got Magpie Murders, which I love, and just the idea of like, it's not even a book within a book, but how a book is influencing the story and the writer part of it and the writer theme of it. It just, all of these things intrigue me. So I definitely need to give this book a go. And I'm excited to find out what it's all about. But again, I've heard great things. Another book I talked about in the book haul I did recently is The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. So this takes place at Claflin Academy, and it is a group of girls who are desperate to get into the Ivy Leagues. And it's the admissions are killer is the theme of this one. So we have an elite clique where ambition reigns, busting curves, scamming club elections, and even a little sabotage are all part of the game. But when one of the Ivies is found dead hours after getting into Harvard, Olivia, who was our main character, begins to question how far her friends are willing to go. And with the killer on the loose, will Olivia's own acceptance letter become her death sentence? So this is also, I saw Mean Girls, Heather's comparisons, again, both things that I love. And I had mentioned this in my book haul also. I am an avid follower of Alexa Dunn's YouTube channel. She is so great at giving transparent, honest writing advice, kind of a peek behind the curtain of the publishing industry. She does writing vlogs. She has like a great humor about her in a lot of ways. And I feel like a lot of things that she enjoys in books and in pop culture are things that I enjoy. I also mentioned, although many years apart, I suspect, we both went to BU. We were both comm majors. So there's a lot of BU Easter eggs in this too, but I very much enjoy her. So I think whether you are a reader, she reads a ton of thrillers, she does book reviews, or you're a writer, her channel's great. I don't know her. I'll link it down below though if you guys are curious, but I'm excited to dive into this one, and I have been holding it for this time of year so that I can give it the back to school vibes, love that it requires. So the next book I have is one that I haven't heard, I feel like, anybody talk about, but I could just be in my own world and missing it. But it is Tell Me Everything by Cambria Brockman. So this also sounds 9,000% in my wheelhouse, which is why it's on the list. Not even going to edit that out. And in this one, we have a group of friends who meet the first week of freshman year in college. It's an elite New England school, and it is a group of friends that is torn apart, and one of the people in that group is playing a dangerous game. So these people meet right at the beginning of school, and they are friends for all 4 years. But Malin isn't like her friends. She's an expert at hiding her troubled past. She acts as if she shares the preoccupations of those around her, dating and partying, all while using her extraordinary insight to detect their deepest vulnerabilities and weaknesses. So by senior day, on the cusp of graduation, Malin's secrets and those of her friends are revealed. While she scrambles to maintain her artfully curated image, her missteps set in motion a devastating chain of events that ends in a murder. As a fragile relationship hangs in the balance and close alliances shift, Malin must test the limits of what she's capable of to stop the truth from coming out. So it says it's a seductive protagonist, innumerable layers, and brings to life an entrancing story of friendship, heartbreak, and betrayal. So I don't know, like I said, anything else about this. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. This is one of those books that somewhere along the way, it was recommended to me based on other books that I bought, and I bought it, and then I promptly let it collect dust on my shelf. So I'm excited for this. It's got tons of great plugs on the back of it, and I just feel like I've been missing out. So I'm excited to read this one. Let me know if you guys have read this one, but I'm excited to have something a little bit less, I don't want to like poo-poo this author, but a little less popular or a little less mainstream, or something that maybe is not getting the attention it deserves. So I'm going to give it a go. Another book I talked about in that book haul that I have specifically been saving for now is The Maidens by Alex Ivies. So you guys know I love The Silent Patient. You guys know I'm super excited for this book, and I can't wait to dive into it. So psychological suspense. This is Cambridge University, and we have Edward Fosca is a murderer. Of this, Mariana is certain. Mariana was once a student herself at the school, and she is suspect of this guy, Edward, who kind of in a secret history-ish type of way. There's a group of students, in this one they're called the Maidens, who spend a lot of time with him as a professor, and Mariana just thinks there's something not quite right about that. So she's going to dig into it. Don't know why that's her business, don't really care. I'm totally down for it. And she is just not sure why this guy is involved with these young women, and she thinks he's just a super bad dude. So I'm going to find out what happens. I have seen all the poo-poo on this. I've also seen some positive reviews on this. I'm going in with my own neutral expectations, but I'm a huge fan of Alex Ivies' writing, and everything about this, again, screams right up my alley, so I'm going to read it. So the next book I have is Ace of Spades, and this is by Farika Abike Amide, and this is a YA thriller, and I honestly have heard nothing but 5-star reviews for this book, and I have also been holding this one for this time of year because I want to do all the school things. So this is at the Ivies Private Academy, and we have 2 students, Devin and Chimeka, who are selected to be a part of the elite school's senior prefects. Whew, I need to take a breath. And of course, school year's off to a great start. This is going to look great on college applications. Like, everything is going according to plan, but it's a YA thriller, so you know that's not going to be the case. So shortly after the announcement is made, someone who goes by Aces begins sending anonymous text messages to reveal secrets about the 2 of them that turn their lives upside down and threaten every aspect of their carefully planned futures. As Aces shows no signs of stopping, what seems like a sick prank quickly turns into a dangerous game with all the cards stacked against them. Can Devin and Chimeka stop Aces before things become incredibly deadly? So it says, with heart-pounding suspense, relevant social commentary, another high-octane thriller. This is the debut. This is another cool inside cover. Again, why doesn't every book do this? And like I said, I've heard nothing but great things about this. So it says, all you need to know, I'm here to divide and conquer like all great tyrants do. So it kind of has like that creepy PLL mysterious A messages, but set in the private academy. I'm so excited for this book, you guys. So excited. Hi guys, editing Audrey. I am about to grossly mispronounce the name of this book. I'm going to call it The Tyrants. It's the truants. This is me being ashamed. A book that I've also mentioned before that I definitely need to get on top of, because hello, is The Tyrants by Kate Weinberg. This was definitely raved upon as, like, if you loved Secret History, if you loved If We Were Villains, this is book number 3 in an unofficial trilogy of great books, and I need to read it. I bought it 100 years ago and I haven't read it. So this one says, people disappear when they want most to be seen. So this is about a girl named Jess Walker, and she goes to a school mainly because she wants to be led by the maverick teacher, Dr. Lorna Clay. So it says Jess begins to experiment with a new version of herself. But the dynamic between the friends begins to darken as they share secrets, lovers, and finally a tragedy. Soon Jess is thrown up against the question she fears most. What is the true cost of an extraordinary life? So she gets drawn into this group of rule breakers, tightly knit, very secret history-ish, very if we were villains-ish. And this is another book where I feel like I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. And I don't think that's for bad reasons. I think maybe it's just not on everybody's radar. But this came out a couple years ago. Again, it was a have to have it. Haven't read it, but I am trying to hold myself accountable for this because, spoiler alert, you guys, there's a 10th anniversary edition of If We Were Villains coming out in October, and I pre-ordered it, and it's stunning. So I feel low-key obligated to read this before that for no good reason other than I'm trying to give myself some sort of a deadline because I function better with a deadline. So school messed up vibes, secret history vibes, it's on the list. So the next book I have is one I talked about, my most anticipated, and I was holding it for September because I'm going to do the read along with Stacks of Strange. So I will link their Instagram and stuff down below, but they pick a book every month and do a read along, and I was excited to do this one with them. And this is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. And when I say with them, I just mean I have nothing to do with it other than I'm participating in their read along. But this is one that I had talked about and I'm excited for, and this is sort of private school with some witchcraft maybe going on in it. So this one follows Felicity, and she goes to the Dalloway School, which is in the Catskills, and she left for a year after the tragic death of her girlfriend, and now she has returned because she wants to finish high school. So she's even returned to her old room in Goodwin House, and it's an exclusive dormitory which is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students, girls who some say were witches, who have all died. So witchcraft is woven into Dalloway's past, but the school doesn't talk about it much, but the students do. In secret rooms and shadowy corners, girls convene. And before her girlfriend died, Felicity was drawn into the dark. She's determined to leave that behind now, but it's hard when Dalloway's occult history is everywhere, and when the new girl won't let her forget it. So we have a new girl named Ellis, and she is, of course, going to be the one who's going to ruffle all the things. She's a so-called method writer. She's eccentric and brilliant, and Felicity can't shake the pull she feels to her. So when Ellis asks Felicity to help her research the Dalloway 5, who are the girls who died, Felicity can't say no. Given her history with the arcane, Felicity is the perfect resource. But when history begins to repeat itself, Felicity will have to face the darkness in Dalloway and in herself. This sounds so good. I don't know which book I'm going to pick up first. You guys, there's so many books here I want to read, but I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for the witchy vibes, and again, hearing such great things. So excited. And finally, one of my most anticipated books of 2021 finally showed up in the mail yesterday, and it's For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. So yes, it came yesterday because yes, I ordered it from Book Depository. I just liked the cover better. I bought her last book from them. I just wanted them to be similar. I know, book problems. But this one is about Teacher of the Year, Teddy Crutcher. And he works at Belmont Academy, home of the brightest and the best. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her in a while. He's deeply committed to improving his students and well aware which ones need improving. All he wants is for his colleagues and the endlessly interfering parents to stay out of his way. So, will that all change when someone receives a lesson to die for? So, I just love Samantha Downing's writing. I love her dark and messed up characters. I love the dark and messed up places she goes to. I was listening to an interview with her where she was talking about how she spoke with teachers who work at these elite academies and just how insane it is that some of their students drive better cars, and if they don't get a good grade, they'll literally be like, my lawyer will sue you, change my grade, and just crazy dynamic between these teachers and the students that they are teaching. So this just sounds deliciously dark and messed up, as all of Samantha Downing's writing has been to date, and I'm really excited for it. So that's going to do it for the school books that I am desperate to read. I legit do not know which one I'm going to pick up first, but let me know if you guys have read any of these, if you plan on reading any of these, feelings, thoughts, all the things, let me know. And I will see you guys in another video really soon. So thanks for hanging out. I hope everyone's doing great, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.